Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here and you like the content and information, please click that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon, that way you get notified when I post new videos, or you can click that little picture of me and my beautiful wife down in the corner, and that'll get you subscribed also. I've got an interesting video here. I have a military vet sitting right behind me.
Hello everybody, I'm Nicholas V.
And Nick, I have your permission to make this video.
Yes sir.
Okay, so here's what happened. Fortunately, I recognize his name because he's a regular passenger in my area. He was out in Roseman. Now, we have a military base out in Roseman, so he was quite a distance away from where I was. But I knew the name and know that he is going to be coming back to my area.
Exactly.
With that being said, the last time I dropped him off, I suggested that when he makes a request for Lyft, or Uber for that matter, to send a text once he gets a driver to accept the call, and immediately send that driver a text saying, look, I'm out in Roseman towards the military base, but I'm coming back to Lancaster. That way the driver knows that, okay, I'm going to make a 18-mile drive to go pick this guy up, but he's coming back the full 18 miles. Some drivers may take it. Most drivers won't even go out to pick him up.
Yes.
In this case, there were 3 drivers that were closer than I was, so obviously it had to go through all 3 of those drivers first before it got to me, and I recognized the name, knew who he was from previous rides, and went out to go pick him up. So even though he recognized me and my vehicle on his app, he sent me a text and said, hey, it's me. I took your advice. I'm coming back to Lancaster. Can you pull that text up? Because
yes, sir.
I'd like to show him on this video.
Definitely.
And there's a little discrepancy now. And this is really interesting because I had a call last night where a daughter was calling for her mom and her kids. Let me rephrase that. The daughter's mother was watching the daughter's children, and there was a problem with the mother's Lyft account. So the daughter called from Colorado to get to, and I'm in California, to be able to get her mother home with the grandkids or the account holder's kids. And she was able to text me throughout the whole ride and give me all the information and so on and so forth. So back to right now with my friend Nick here, and thank you for your service, Nick, in the military.
Thank you for your service too, sir.
I come from a military family myself, and so we appreciate what you do, because it's people like you that give us the freedom to do what we do. So again, I suggested to Nick that when he makes a request out in that area, because it is a long distance, and the drivers in my market, unfortunately, once they get past a certain area, figure they're going to fall off the face of the planet. Sorry, I'm holding my phone. That's a little better.
It's true.
And they won't go out there. And again, it went through 3 different drivers before I got it. I recognized the name, so I went out. But Nick took my advice, and as soon as I received, or he got the confirmation of the driver, this is what he sent. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to read it or not.
If I can remember, it says, "Hey." It
says, "Hey partner."
Hey partner, yeah, I'm using your advice. Haha, I'm going to Lancaster.
So, being as it that I came from Lancaster, and he wasn't sure if it was me yet, and he just immediately sent the text.
It was good advice.
He was letting the driver know that, hey, you know what? I know it's a long drive to come and get me, but I'm coming back to your area.
Exactly.
The problem is the telephone number that it actually went to
did not go to my driver. It went to some other unknown number, which I'm assuming is Lyft.
So I never got the message.
And how I know how it connects to Lyft from message, even though we don't know what that number is because I also pressed the call before instead of the send message, and I got a voicemail for Lyft. Not my driver.
So he was trying to call me first, and he couldn't get through.
I got a Lyft voicemail.
So then he tried to text me. It didn't go through either. So fortunately, like I said, he's been a regular passenger, and I recognized the name and was able to go pick him up. So what I wanted to ask him, and like you saw in the beginning of the video, I have Nick's permission to put him on it, because he's actually upset with Lyft. So Lyft, if you watch this video, I'm gonna propose this. So Nick, I drove
Yes, sir.
14 miles to come and get you.
Yes.
I recognized your name.
You did.
And you tried to send a text, couldn't get through to me. But knowing that area,
Mhm.
because you work out towards the base,
Yes, sir.
and you're constantly,
Traveling back and forth from Lancaster to base.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to pay an extra fee, a reasonable fee, to make sure that you could get a ride from the base back home at midnight?
At off hours, at off work hours, unless you Lyft has an overnight shift. However, but I called and they don't answer. But yes, I would be willing to pay a fee if that's what it requires. Then I would, in order to contact my driver directly, if I need to.
Or what I'm saying
Because
is,
I didn't even get a reply. That's the problem. The problem is not about wanting to have a personal driver to connect. The problem is, if I need to connect, I didn't and I couldn't.
But what I'm saying though is, but you'd be willing to pay an extra fee to
Yes,
make sure that
I would.
a driver's, it's gonna say, okay, yeah,
If it's outside the driver's area, I would be more than happy to accept. Yes.
to make sure you could get home.
Make sure I get home. I'll pay an extra fee. Yes.
So there you go. This is a huge problem in my
It is.
market. I've made a couple of other videos. I've mentioned this before.
It is.
In the Antelope Valley, we cover 2,200 square miles. One of those areas is Edwards Air Force Base.
Definitely.
And this gentleman has been really cool. He's been a great passenger. And fortunately, I was out tonight and I recognized his name.
Fortunately, indeed.
And now we're at his house, and that's it. So Lyft, if you want your passengers to remain happy, they're willing to pay an extra fee to make sure they can get a ride and get home at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Since Lyft isn't paying and Uber isn't anymore either paying a long pickup fee, your passengers, and I have video proof right here, because how long have you been with Lyft, Nick?
Oh wow! I started out with Uber. I discovered Lyft because Uber was not working for me.
Sorry, Uber.
Yeah, it just wasn't. And I started with Lyft, and I love Lyft. I did. It was working for me, and I just discovered areas of drivers through John. I did not know that before. I figured I would just have a ride. And Lyft still is great. I still love Lyft. I just think we need to expand. I really believe, even as a customer, I think we should expand that. Exactly what John is saying, I agree with him.
So Lyft, your passengers are willing to pay an extra fee knowing that they're going to get a car out and get home on these long pickups. But my question was, how long have you been using Lyft currently? A year, 6 months?
Oh, that's right. That was your question. Sorry about that. Two and a half years.
So two and a half years.
Yeah.
So he's been on a passenger on Lyft's platform for 2.5 years, and there you have it. Passengers in my market are willing to pay an extra fee in order to get home. In the Antelope Valley, the big income for the cities out here are aerospace. And I have a Navy veteran. Again,
Aerospace.
thank you, Nick, for your service.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out real quick. So again, Lyft, if you're watching, Chris at Real Rideshare Stories, Dustin is driving, Rideshare Professor. If you guys catch this video, I would love you guys to do a sequel or a follow-up or something related to this for your markets too. I mean, this is a military veteran here, and regardless of that, passengers should have the ability to get home when they need a ride.
Right.
So,
exactly. Yeah.
and they're
I
willing
agree.
to pay, and I know this from my market, they are willing to pay an extra fee, knowing that when they're on the outskirts of of our area, they're willing to pay for to get home. So with that being said, Nick, thank you for your time.
Thank you,
for
Lyft.
your service.
Thank you, John. Thank you for yours.
As a naval operator in my family, and especially in this market, we absolutely
Yeah.
are we don't stand behind our military, we stand beside them. So again,
It's all about the man next to you.
Rideshare Professor, Chris at Real Rideshare Stories, Dustin is driving. Anybody that wants to do a follow-up to this, please do so. I would love to hear it. And again, Lyft, if you're watching this, customers are willing to pay.
We are.
You know,
I am.
they know that they're getting a good service. They know that it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than a cab, and they want to get home. So let's get them home. With that being said, I'm going to end the video here. Nick,
Thank you,
again,
Lyft.
thank you.
John.
And as always, be professional,
Be professional.
be safe,
Be safe.
keep it real,
Yeah.
drive on.